La 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 la. Let's do this. It's a back to work Tuesday, a beautiful Tuesday outside here in Jacksonville, Florida. You are listening to Miller on Sports live on ABC 1530 WBOB. I am Richard Miller. If you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter and Facebook at Miller on Sports. As well, if you feel like emailing me it's milleronsports@gmail.com, or you can check out my blog, milleronsports.com. If you want to call into the show today, call 904-854-1320. Always brought to you by the law offices of Ron Scholes, a law firm of military veterans fighting for you. Check out their website, ronscholespa.com, or for a free consultation, call 904-721-7575. That number again is 721-7575. And if you checked out last night's game, Boise State, Virginia Tech, what a nice treat. What a nice Monday evening of Labor Day treat. It started off at 8, and that's one of the things I have a problem with. These primetime games in college football, they seem to last forever. And I don't mind Brent Musburger and Kirk Herbstreit, but when the game is pushing a little over 3.5 hours, that's tough. That's tough, but I watched it on my computer on ESPN3, and if you've ever done it or not done it, it is absolutely amazing what you can do, because you can go back to every key play. They have a little marker on the ticker at the bottom that you can go to every key play and re-watch it again. Just fascinating, fascinating stuff. Of course, Boise State won last night, 33-30 at FedEx Field. Really, for the most part, was a home game for Virginia Tech. And that first quarter, if that's all you watched, you would have thought that, wow, Boise State is a world beater. By far, this team can compete with any other team in the country. That is how good this team is, and everyone bashing Boise State that they don't play anybody. I get where you're coming from, and they open up the season against Virginia Tech, and really, for the most part, the rest of the season, they have Oregon State on September 25th, which might give them trouble, but Texas Christian really gave them a stomping over the weekend. So, and then the other game is Fresno State. Besides that, Boise State really doesn't have anyone on their schedule. And after that first quarter, though, very entertaining football. This game really had it all. Block punt we saw in the first quarter. Austin Pettis, what a player he is. Kellen Moore, obviously that's his favorite target, is Pettis, who had a block punt and a touchdown within, I think, 30-something seconds. Just amazing stuff. And that opening play, Virginia Tech really set the pace, because they started it off with a flea flicker. Then the second play, fumbled snap. I guess they were talking to John Brantley and Mike Pouncey, I'm not quite sure. But fumbled snap, and Boise State recovered, and Virginia Tech only 0 passing yards in the first quarter. Absolutely amazing. And one of the things that surprises me too nowadays, and I understand that Tyrod Taylor is a running quarterback, so he's always going to have the ball ready to go, ready to throw at a moment's notice, kind of like Mike Vick back in the day. Not so much now, but the way he holds the ball just out there. I'm shocked these players don't especially the quarterback, bring the ball in. And if you've ever seen game tape or watched games of Adrian Peterson with the Minnesota Vikings and the way he carries the ball, he's had issues up there in Minnesota. We all remember it last year in the NFC Championship game. He fumbles the ball way too much. It's because he carries the ball so low. As well, he kind of braces himself when he falls. So say if he has the ball in his right arm and he falls on his right side, he kind of braces himself, therefore moving the ball away from his body, and it makes it a lot easier for defenders to strip that. And I'm just surprised that coaches don't say, hey, Tyrod, we understand you're going to run it. You always have that option, but bring the ball in just a little bit. Don't hand it out there like it's some fruit basket you're ready to give to somebody. No. Bring it in. Bring it a little bit closer. It's yours. Otherwise, turnovers are going to happen like that. You know, much like Florida over the weekend, except that was a bunch of bobbled snaps. So overall, I was impressed with Virginia Tech, the way they came out in the second and third quarter. But really, you have to tip your hat to Chris Peterson. The way he had his Broncos just ready to go from the kickoff, from the get-go, that defense was very impressive, only losing one starter, and you could tell at times that it hurt them because Kyle Wilson went in the NFL draft last April, and that hurt them in terms of the long ball and obvious cornerback and just opening stuff up in the secondary. He was not there to kind of finish. And you could tell really with Virginia Tech, 4 starters on the Hokies defense returned from last year. And it kind of showed at times. As well, Ryan Matthews had a difficult time in terms of finding holes. But just overall, you can't be any happier in terms of a product on the field, getting ready for college football season. You just feel good. And with Kellen Moore, the quarterback for Boise State, everybody, year after year, it becomes Heisman talk comes a day earlier. Just another day earlier, another second, another minute. It gets a little ridiculous at times, but when you look back at it, when December comes around and Heisman voters are putting in their votes, this game is going to be brought up, without a doubt. In terms of the total package, Kellen Moore finishing the game with under 2 minutes left, driving the ball, kind of John Elway-esque in terms of finishing the game off. And for a while, I even thought Virginia Tech might come down the field and score that field goal. But Kellen Moore, that final product of, yeah, he looks like a good Heisman candidate, and especially going up against these weaker teams throughout the season, besides really Oregon State and Fresno State, he's going to have, his body of work is going to look pretty darn good. And I think over the last 6 years, the highest non-BCS player to get the most votes in a Heisman vote was 4th. So not that high. I believe it was LaDainian Tomlinson. So you don't get too much respect when you're a non-BCS team out there. But overall, Virginia Tech, I still think they're one of the better teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference, without a doubt. But Boise State, everyone on their bandwagon, it's hard not to get on their bandwagon. Chris Peterson looks like a nice guy. Kellen Moore, that's what I like about these teams. In their post-game interviews, they act like they are so happy. Nothing could be better for them. This is the greatest day of their life. It's almost like their wedding day and their firstborn child was born today. That's just the way they seem. They always have a smile on their face. They talk about one game at a time, and I understand that's coach speak, but they just seem so excited and they're living in the moment. And I think that's what we as college football fans like to see after a game or during a game. Unlike Bud Foster, I don't think you saw it. Maybe you did see it after the first quarter, where Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, had this scowl on his face, almost like he ate some sort of sour gumball and also got punched in the face. It was just the worst look. But down 17-0, I think anybody is going to look like that after the drubbing they took in that first quarter. So you're listening to Miller on Sports right here on ABC 1530 WBOB. Every weekday from 1 until 2 p.m. Brought to you, as always, by the law offices of Ron Scholes, a law firm of military veterans fighting for you. Go to their website, ronschollspa.com, or for a free consultation, call 904-721-7575. And beginning next week, Monday and Tuesday, I'll be at City Hall Pub for live broadcasts. You're listening to Miller on Sports on ABC 1530 WBOB.
Save money by reducing your electric bill. Call Snyder Air Conditioning and make an appointment today. Some air conditioning companies will only check your system. Snyder will clean and check your system. There's a big difference between checking and cleaning. Because cleaning your system will not only extend its life, but will make your existing system work more efficiently, thus saving you money on your electric bill. And while Snyder Air Conditioning is an independent, trained comfort specialist dealer, they can fix and
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Many customers say that the money they save from Snyder's preventative maintenance service is easily paid for by the savings in their electric bill. With over 35 years of experience,
Yeah, not nearly as nervous.
leading residential air
thermos around here. I don't.